Are you ready?
Yeah, turn up the heat.
Are you ready?
Is he ready?
Oh, yeah, he's ready.
It's go time.
Ready to go beyond the scores and stats.
I love it.
Good.
Let's bring it in. It's showtime, right?
Welcome to High on Sports.
The whole deal is like some kind of crazy game.
Exclusively on MorningShowCentral.com.
Hello and welcome to High on Sports. I am Ralphie, and with me, as always,
Ashley.
And I am Von Erich.
that was I was scared how that was gonna go.
That didn't throw me off at all. I'm a
Yes.
pro.
Oh yeah, professionals.
You
Whether you're on your
professional stance.
whether you're on your computer or one of the many glorious apps, thank you for making High on Sports a part of your evening. Remember, if you're not on one of the many glorious apps, remember to take your smartphone, go to the App Store, search for TuneIn Radio. Just free to download. Simply install it. Search MSC Radio Network. Hit play, and you're listening to us live on the go from your phone. And remember, we are totally 100% interactive here on the show. You can get into the chat room, morningshowcentral.com/watch. It asks for a password. You do not need to put one. You can put any name you want. Hit enter. You're immediately logged in, talking to me and Ashley, Von Erich, and whoever else may be in there tonight. You got a name yet, Von Erich, in there?
Yes.
Yeah? Who are you in there tonight as?
Von Erich.
Whoa.
That's clever. I totally get it, because, that makes sense.
Well,
I
it was
like
causing a bit of a, not a problem, but more of a distraction because in the secondary and third shows of the night, people are like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, I don't get it. It was going on. Yeah. And then, the fourth show is out my balls. But anyways, remember, you can always tweet at us at high_on_sports
criminy.
or with the hashtag High on Sports. Email your questions or comments to shows with an S at morningshowcentral.com. Call the show toll free, 1-888-668-0742. And the facebook.com/High on Sports is the fan page. Remember to go ahead and give it a like. And highonsports.net is the website. You can go there for the archive, all our past shows, my blog, and a bunch of other fun stuff. Tonight, there's actually going to be a new item up there, most likely, depending on how much we get through of it on the show. I've compiled a list of tips and suggestions and overall just strategy, my wisdom to impart, I should say, to you, the fans, fantasy football draft. I don't want to call it a manifesto. Other people have that, but no, this is just my sort of strategy guide to the fantasy football draft. We'll see how much we get through that, but I'll post the list of facts on the website tonight, which again is highonsports.net. All right, let's get right into things here. It is round one. Let's go. That was weird. I always hold up my hand to put up number one, and I did my left hand today. And this is throwing me off.
Me
we
too.
switched sides. It was a last minute late call. You need the computer, so I was gracious enough to give it up. But this is
I don't like it either.
it's freaking me out. I feel like
can't
Von
do it
Erich's just
again.
like lurking over
yeah.
me now. All right, let's get right in here, though. A story Von Erich in particular would enjoy talking about, possibly, is Alex Rodriguez. It just will not go away. I think it's going to be here till he dies, or at least stops playing baseball forever.
Yeah, we're still talking about Joe Jackson, so
That's true.
everyone's going to be talking about A-Rod 100 years from now.
Well, the new thing now is, all of a sudden, Ryan Braun is back in the picture. I want to talk about that first, real quick. Actually, is now there's these rumors leaking where supposedly Ryan Braun or whoever it is, allegedly, someone's trying to spread some word about the guy who had collected the sample. The urine sample for Ryan Braun from the original suspension, where he then managed to get out of it, where they're saying that guy supposedly tried to sabotage him and everything because he was an anti-Semite and a Cubs fan.
What?
I just like how they listed that. Oh, because Ryan Braun obviously he's Jewish, but and a brewer. So I just love how they listed it like man, I don't like Jews, but I like Cubs. Like one or the other, but. I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. And now there's just so much stuff coming out about Ryan Braun. Ryan Braun needs to, what Ryan Braun needs to do? He's suspended. Ryan Braun needs to go out onto a beach somewhere and just enjoy the vacation.
Yeah, sit in a
That's all
lawn
there's to
chair, get a little free
disagree.
drink with an
Really?
umbrella.
Yeah, I think he needs to keep himself in the public eye. Now would be the perfect time for a reality show on the MLB network.
All right, that would be fun to watch. Can he do
A
that?
life in the day of a suspended baseball player.
Can the MLB network do anything with him? He's suspended
yeah.
from MLB, and the network
Well, if
is
not
like,
the MLB
them.
network, I'm sure the E channel might be
Hey, what's
interested.
VH1 doing right now?
Nothing.
Probably nothing.
Right? You can guarantee me life in the day of a suspended baseball player.
Sure. And it's
Wake
just,
up whenever
and it's
you
probably just
want.
awesome. Wake up, ride motorcycles, eat
Skateboard.
nachos for breakfast, skateboard
Right?
in a pool, do whatever you want. He's got all that money. But I think, realistically, like if he, not goes into hiding, but at least kind of just stops with the constantly coming out to apologize. Like, we get it, all right, shut up. Nobody cares anymore. He's got 7 years left on his deal with the Brewers. He's still relatively in the prime of his career. He's got time, and he's coming back. He's got time to redeem himself,
right,
in the public's eye, if not just Milwaukee's. Like, he can still. I don't know if it ever gets perfect. Because he was on his way to a statue out in front of that place. But I don't know if it ever gets back to that. But I know at least it gets to a point where people forget eventually.
And he's only losing half a season, a little over half a season in a
relative
year.
Season.
In a year where they're not doing crap. It's not like they were going to make the playoffs and they were going to need him.
Exactly.
Because they're not even close to making the playoffs.
That's why I love they threw in, like, you're suspended for the rest of the season and playoffs if it should happen.
Yeah.
But
It's
they
not
won't.
going to happen.
And then you got guys like Johnny Peralta who would be playing in the playoffs, and they're like, well, you can come back in the playoffs. But you got your 50 games right now. I don't know.
It was probably because Braun pissed him off last year when he said, I didn't do it.
Either way,
the guy tainted my sample.
Here's the interesting part. A new report coming out this week that Alex Rodriguez, supposedly, not necessarily him per se, but at least someone in his inner circle, is the quote, may have let it release, whether it was on purpose or whatever, that Yankees teammate Francisco Cervelli and Ryan Braun were part of the biogenesis. Now, supposedly, their connection to the biogenesis may have been leaked by A-Rod or A-Rod's inner circle. I should say. Which the inner circle, I never get that when they throw that around. I just picture the TV show Entourage. I picture like A-Rod and then the rest of the cast of Entourage. And then just like Johnny Drama's just like talking to somebody like, yeah, no, Ryan Braun and like Francisco Cervelli.
They were there too, popping
Yeah,
boys.
we saw them. Hell yeah, man. I don't know, but they always have like inner circles. And I just feel like if you're in the inner circle of an athlete, odds are you're totally worthless.
Yeah.
Because it probably is like, just to go back to the show Entourage. They... for the most part, did nothing.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, what have you done with your life? I know somebody really famous.
Well, it's like LeBron's people who followed him around through
His
Cleveland.
people. Everybody's got their people.
Yeah.
Or their inner circle. Like, it's weird to me. Like, I have some friends and stuff, but it's not like, if I was suddenly famous, it's not like a mysterious cult meeting or something like my inner circle of trust. I
Just
don't know.
my friends.
It's just weird. Exactly.
Yeah.
And now, if that's not even bad enough, now reports coming out again this week that A-Rod supposedly has paid for Anthony Bosch's attorney that represents him in this whole biogenesis thing, and now supposedly the attorney has like refused the payment, and he's going to like outside the lines and spilling all the beans, and this is just getting way too confusing. I mean,
what it is if any of it's true, it's because A-Rod knew he was getting busted, and he tried to bring people down with him by leaking Braun and what's-his-face's name. And as for paying for dude's attorney, he's probably like, I need my attorney in charge of this guy so we all don't go down as bad, even though they're already all going down.
He knows if Bosch goes down, he's coming with him. Because if
He's
I'm
going down
Bosch,
hard.
it's just playing out exactly like you would have thought it would.
Yeah.
If Anthony Bosch really does have all these big name clients and everything, and he's going to go down, if he knows he's down, then he's going to be like, well, time to cut a deal.
Yeah.
And that's what people in this situation do. They say, A-Rod's not my friend.
Yeah.
I will give you A-Rod. I will give you the name of my clients if we start lessening what's going on here, lessen some sentences, lessen what's going on, whatever. I mean, this is just turning big. I think this is bigger than what was the other list that came out a while back?
Mitchell Report.
The Mitchell Report. The Mitchell Report.
Snitchell Report.
Fun fact here.
Snitchell.
If we play like 6 degrees of separation, one of the names listed on the Mitchell Report was Miguel Tejada, currently a Royal.
Some things never change.
Who was just suspended this week for 105 games for his second positive test, supposedly for Adderall. And now a report came out earlier today that he may also be involved in the biogenesis scandal.
Do
So
they
he's like looking at A-Rod and Ryan Braun like, let me tell you about the scandal, like the scandal.
Do they not learn their lesson?
I don't. It's just stupid. It really is. Like it should just be two. If you're caught twice, you should
be
not
done.
be in this game anymore.
Because clearly you're not learning. Clearly.
I mean, there's some people obviously out there that just think cheating you're out, you know.
Yeah.
But and maybe that's the way you should go about it. But at the very least, cheat twice and you're out. I think.
Yeah.
Instead, what?
Because
How many
it's
times you
getting
got to cheat? Like 4 times before they like kick you out?
Right? It's like, oh, I'll lose the 100
It's like
games.
50,
oh, well.
50, 100 a season, and
Something.
then gone. And then this arbitrary 211 that like came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This is just absolutely ridiculous, and it saddens me because it almost makes me look forward to when the season's done. Just so this appeal will happen, or it won't happen, or whatever will happen, and it can just be done.
I don't get why they won't do it right now. They said you're going to lose the rest of the season all the next season, but you can appeal it and then play this season. That doesn't make any freaking sense.
Oh, and then the game last night. Oh, of course, they're talking about that everywhere, and not even just the fact that it's Yankees, Red Sox. Ryan Dempster of the Red Sox actually beamed him in the shoulder. And so, some people claim, he broke an unwritten rule in pitching. Is the first pitch he actually tried to get him, and he went a little too far, and missed whatever. So then he came back on that 4th pitch and hit him again. And the unwritten rule is like, you throw in on a guy, and if you don't, and then that's the end of that. But he went back to it.
Who gives a crap?
Exactly. You know what?
I throw at him first, second, third, fourth pitch.
Sure.
I throw them all at him.
And then it just turned into a whole thing
get out
because
of my
then
game.
Joe Girardi got thrown out of the game, but the pitcher didn't. And it turned into a whole thing where it was just he hit him, and then all of a sudden both sides were warned. The Yankees were also warned, so the Yankees can't even retaliate.
Yeah, see, they don't
unless they're gonna get somebody thrown. It's just
they do that too early. Like if someone gets pegged, you don't need to warn anyone until the second guy gets pegged.
It's all just because of profile. It's because of the name factor in all this. It's because it is A-Rod.
Yeah.
And it's because of all this biogenesis and everything. And you know what? The players don't like the guy.
No, nobody likes him. His own team doesn't even like him.
Cheating and is making mega huge bucks right now and still playing. He even made a joke. Somebody asked him after the game, do you think Ryan Dempster should be suspended? And he's like, I don't think I'm the guy you should ask about suspensions.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, because you should be suspended right now.
Right?
It's absolutely... it hurts the game when it becomes a bigger story. When all you can talk about is the biogenesis and the steroids and all this and whatever. We talked about steroids. I don't know if it's ruining baseball or what it's doing, but the fallout certainly is. I mean, you can. I'm even having trouble just trying to keep track of what's going on and everything. By the way, the Indians still 7 games out. They were 7 games out the last time we were on air, and that hasn't changed.
No ground at all.
Nope.
Very disappointing.
They're killing me.
Pretty disappointing. 4-6 in their last 10, while Detroit is 5-5. So, all right. Well, there's that.
Kansas City's tearing it up lately too.
Did we took the Indians took back second place though, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
I believe I literally just had the standings in front of me, and I already forgot. But yes, no, double checking, the Indians did take back second place. That was really disappointing when they lost second place. Briefly, the Royals had passed them up. That was pretty scary. But you know what? Let's talk. Let's get the biogenesis taste and everything out of our mouth here a little bit, and let's talk about some pigskin. We are in the second or third week, depending how you count it. I call it second week of football, preseason football, obviously. So we're not going to sit here and break down too much of how the Browns look. The Browns, their offenses looked great last games. They did beat the Lions 24-6 for their last home game of the preseason, and that's all well and good. The team's looking all right. I mean, even Jason Campbell as a backup is looking pretty nice. Whedon 8 for 12, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not bad at all. Richardson finally made his debut, 6 carries, 33 yards. Yeah, whatever. The big news comes from the injuries that have occurred because of this game. I can tell you as a Browns fan, this being preseason, I would certainly trade in this win to undo the injuries that have occurred. None of them necessarily the starters. Jason Pinkston is hurt. It's hard to tell how long that's going to be. the guard for the Browns, obviously, and he was already replacing, wasn't it Ryan Miller, I think, or someone. He was already replacing somebody on the line, and it looks like he's going to be out for a little bit. Now, the Browns actually even making a trade. They traded defensive line Brian Sanford for Moffitt from the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, who started the last 15 games over the last 2 seasons. So a little bit of hurt at the O-line, but I think the big question marks come from Barkevious Mingo, who has outperformed, obviously, expectations so far. Had to go out of the game with a bruised lung. Had to spend the night in the hospital. Doctors saying today, after looking back at it and everything, had he stayed in the game, there's a chance he would have died.
Jesus.
But because he was taken out and everything, now he's expected back within about a week. So I don't know how that happens. I don't know how there's an injury that has that wiggle room. Where it's like, if you play anymore, you're dead, but come out and you can play next week. I don't know. Bruised lung.
That's tough.
So, yeah, it sucks. But he'll be all right. He'll be ready to go at the start of the season and everything. I'm not worried about that. What I am worried about is this affects us in 2 ways. Dion Lewis, the backup running back, yes, injured his leg. Actually, broke his leg, I should say. Dion Lewis, for all intents and purposes, was taking that second string spot. He was a great change of pace guy because he's one of those little speedy guys. A Darren Sproles type that's going to get real low, and then, once people get used to that, you switch it out with Richardson.
And he just runs people over.
He's going to jam you with a stiff arm and everything. It was a nice change of pace. He's fast. He's little. He's got agility and lateral quickness and everything. The kind of stuff you love. We actually, the Browns looked like they were poised to go in with Lewis as their starting kick returner as well.
Oh.
Now, not the case, obviously. Dion Lewis, broken leg, out indefinitely.
God, that sucks.
Probably the season, if not close to it, the whole thing. They do still have Brandon Jackson, who I think he was. They signed him, last year or the year before? Either way, I can't remember. But he has not played much, but it looks like they're going to go forward with Brandon Jackson in that number 2 spot, at least for now, considering the Montario Hardesty is still on the team, but he's injured as well. Injured his thumb last week, which that really urinated me off, from, if I can borrow a phrase in the second half. Sprained his thumb taking a snap.
I'm sorry, if you're a running back, why can't you play with a messed up finger?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that.
Carry the ball in your other hand.
All I know is it's just... I
don't get it.
He gets hurt practicing basically a trick play.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me and all that.
Ow, I hurt my
It's like, how many direct snaps are you going to take during the season?
Probably 1.
Considering you're the backup.
Yeah.
I mean, any? I don't know. But, of course, sprains his thumb taking a direct snap. So we'll see. Eventually they'll get Hardesty back. They've got, like I said, they've got, obviously they have Trent in the starting position. They got Brandon Jackson. They got, what was it? They just signed a kid, too. I can't remember now. But, I mean, either way, they'll figure some things out, but I don't think they'll really be able to fully replace what Dion Lewis brought to the table. And especially in the kick return game. Look at this. This is still, we're still 1 year removed from Josh Cribbs.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh Cribbs was the last guy that returned a kick for the Browns. Punt returns looks like that's going to be set at Travis Benjamin. That was going to be his job, whether Josh came back or not, pretty much, after what he's been doing. Josh never really clicked on punt returns.
No.
Honestly.
I mean, he returned a couple.
Sure, but
never,
he was even when he was really at his peak, like at the beginning, we still had I think one of his in his first or second year. I think Dennis Northcutt was actually still here and returning some punts. That was so long ago now. I feel old, but Dion Lewis had been doing it. Now they're looking at the potentially starting corner Johnson Batamose. That's not encouraging when you hear
someone you never
when you hear Johnson Batamose may be the starting corner. It's not pretty to think about, but the offense looking great. If they can get past these injuries, thank God the key players haven't really been hurt yet. Dion Lewis hurts, but again, that is a backup position. So ultimately, I think they can find something at kick return. there's even still the possibility that Travis Benjamin potentially gets out there to start returning kicks too, goes double duty like Josh Cribbs did. But then I don't know what's going on inside their heads. How much do they want to incorporate him into Travis Benjamin, sorry. How much do they want to incorporate Travis Benjamin into the offense, playing more receiver? It's going to be, there's just a lot of things to keep our eye on as we go forward. By the way, next week, I should point out, due to the fact that we're off for Labor Day, not Memorial Day, Labor Day, next week will be our last show before the football season starts. So you're going to want to join us next week for our big NFL preview special. We're going to pick division winners. We're going to pick obviously make our Super Bowl picks and everything like that.
Browns all the way.
Yeah, you're just going Browns undefeated. Yep. Screw you, 72 Dolphins, all the way. Tune in next week to see if he's joking. But no, yeah, we'll go all in depth. We'll see how far I'll go. I may go MVP, start going with awards and things like that. We'll see how deep this goes. But again, next week will be our big preview spectacular, where we will be making our Super Bowl picks that will be set in stone, that will be guaranteed to be right. But that means another thing, as the start of football season comes, so does the start of fantasy football season. Some people even look forward to that more. Yeah, we got our team will be, our league, I should say, will be drafting on Labor Day. Always lines up perfect. Nice day off for everybody. But this is, I've compiled a list, as I mentioned at the top of the show, a list of sort of some facts and observations and things like that. They can get a little complicated, but I'll just sort of give you a brief rundown of some of them. These are sort of my fantasy tips. We can break these down and look at them and stuff. The weirdest thing this year about when you look at projected draft positions and things like that, I don't think quarterback has ever been this deep in a long time. And you can factor that in by the fact that like 4 people were taken in the draft last year. 4 rookies really showed up as legitimate quarterbacks. Yeah. When you look at it, you just added, there's always like that group of good quarterbacks, and you just instantly add 4 of them as, you get Andrew Luck and Russell Wilson and RG3, thank you, and Ryan Tannehill and everything. But I have a list right here. Is just some names I noticed is Andy Dalton, Ryan Tannehill, Tony Romo, Matt Schaub, Jay Cutler, and Mike Vick are all outside of the top 10 rankings for quarterbacks. Most of those guys, I'd say maybe not Vick per se, but almost any one of those guys you could legitimately have as your starting number 1 quarterback, and none of those names are in the top 10. So it's just something to think about. Some people are even suggesting skipping quarterback until the 3rd or possibly even 4th round. I always want to. Every year I want to wait for my quarterback, but I just get so scared as I'm going and I see certain names come off the board.
If Tom Brady or Peyton Manning are sitting on the table, you can't pass them up.
It's hard.
You can't do it.
It is really hard.
You can't.
Another name worth noting is I don't like to necessarily look at sleepers per se. I don't like to think about it that way. I think the best way to win is to stack the odds. I don't think you go like, well, I heard this guy and this guy were good pals at training camp, so I'll go for him. I did that one year. I waited way late for receiver, and I went at one point for this guy that supposedly Jay Cutler was having a good working relationship with in the preseason and training camp and everything. That dude screwed me. I think he got cut. Before the season was over. He was awful. I don't even remember that dude's name right now. But I don't like to play with sleepers, but I think I potentially have one here. Is Zach Sudfeld. He's a tight end for the New England Patriots.
Oh, well, someone's got to step in. They lost
Tom
2.
Brady hit him twice this weekend for a touchdown. So 2 touchdowns he got in the preseason game.
They did lose 2 tight ends.
Exactly.
One got locked up, and one broke his body.
And not even just the fact they lost these tight ends, they also lost Wes Welker.
Oh, yeah, they lost their main receiver, too.
Suddenly this guy goes from, you probably won't make the team or you'll be a special teamer or something, to keep an eye on that guy. Yeah. I mean, Zach Sudfeld is the name. I barely even remember it. I had to keep looking what I wrote down. Another thing I noticed is a trend among quarterbacks and everything is everybody wants to go for like the best teams and stuff when you're going quarterback a little later and everything. But I noticed something is Sam Bradford, the St. Louis Rams, finished the year at 7-8-1. Eli Manning and the Giants finished 9-7. Giants got the better record and everything. Clearly, you would say the Giants are a better team than the Rams, because you always talk about the Rams. He never has Sam Bradford never has a go-to number 1 receiver. But you look at Eli Manning, you're like, well, he's got Victor Cruz. You could just chuck it up to Victor Cruz all day. Eli Manning only outscored Sam Bradford by 4 points in standard fantasy leagues. 4 points despite all that surrounding talent. So that's why I just think you need to look at the quarterback, not necessarily what's surrounding him and everything like that. Good players will find a way to stay good. Like Tom Brady. I'm hearing a lot of people, Tom Brady's falling on their boards and stuff. It's like, let's be honest here. Tom Brady is still Tom Brady.
Yeah.
He's only had one real, like, elite wide receiver in his career. Was really Randy Moss for that one season. And by hooking up with him, he threw the most touchdowns ever, and he caught the most touchdowns ever, you know? But every year since then and before then, he's been great. You know, it has not slowed down Tom Brady, the lack of talent that he's throwing to. I found another thing that was really interesting was the fact of touchdowns. Touchdowns are great, you know, quick way for points and everything in most fantasy leagues. They're usually, I think, 4 for quarterbacks, I think 6 for running backs and wide receivers.
Which I think is dumb.
Standard
I go
scoring.
6 and 6.
Yeah, I get it, but it's just quarterbacks, you know, they score so many more.
I don't care.
But, well, either way, I found that touchdowns are a completely unreliable stat. I looked up some great players and what their numbers have been from year to year. Calvin Johnson was, and this I'll give you their numbers before last season and last season. Before last season, 16 touchdowns, and then the season right after that, 5 touchdowns for Calvin Johnson. Yeah. LaShawn McCoy, 20 touchdowns. Last season, 5 touchdowns. Absolutely ridiculous. And Adrian Peterson, despite rushing for the second most yards ever, and over twice as much as he did the previous year, he had the exact same number of touchdowns with 12. Ran for over 2,000 yards, still ran for the same amount of touchdowns as he did when he had 970. So, I mean, it's something to keep an eye on, as yards are definitely way more important to look at as far as a year-to-year stat than the touchdowns, because they can just, with most receivers and running backs, I think receivers more than anything, is it can just totally be a fluke. It can be an absolute fluke. But I also, speaking of, that got me thinking about wide receiver and everything, and I looked it up and I found out 23 different wide receivers last year averaged 9 or more points per game last season. I mean, you got 23 guys out there. You only have to start 2 of them. 23 guys that all averaged 9 or more. When you look at it, you know, about 10 points is what you can really ask of the position. So, I mean, receiver is definitely not something you want to, you have to reach on, I should say.
No.
I mean, a lot of guys think like Calvin Johnson, first round and everything. Honestly, it's a lot safer bet to just sit and wait on it. And especially, like, it does just change so much with who else is on the team and everything. And I found out this was interesting. Tight end is probably the worst position in the draft this year. Maybe the worst it's ever been. I looked up some interesting numbers.
You never get a winner in the tight end position. Never.
There's one. There's Jimmy Graham, which everybody's saying. The saying right now this year is, I either want to be the first person to take a tight end or the last person to take a tight end. Because you either get Jimmy Graham or screw it.
Yeah, right?
Kyle Rudolph of the Minnesota Vikings, all right? According to his week-to-week numbers, he is, and this gets a little confusing, but the 3rd most consistent tight end. And according to fantasy scoring and everything, the 9th best tight end in a standard fantasy league last year. He had 4 games with no points at all. 9th best tight end and had 4 games of 0 points.
Oh my God.
I'll tell you what, all the tight ends are murdering people and getting injured and everything. It's just that position is getting very weak right now. There really is. It is Jimmy Graham or bust. An interesting guy to keep an eye on. Again, I don't like playing the whole sleepers game, but it's just something to keep an eye on. I certainly wouldn't draft him at any point, but it'd be a guy I keep an eye on as the season goes on, is Jordan Cameron of the Browns. He's a guy that was taken, late in the draft. Not a lot of hype around him and everything, 2-3 years ago now. He's really kind of grown into the position. He's climbed up the depth chart by other people leaving and stuff. And really now this is his year where you're the tight end and this is how it's going to work. And he's in an offense that absolutely loves a tight end. So we'll see. He's an athletic guy. Still needs to build on a little more muscle probably. But and I think one thing, this is if I leave you with any wisdom, anyone, is this is something you just absolutely have to do. Do not take a kicker until the end of the game, until the end of the draft. The last round. I got a couple kicker stats here, but I'll just give you the most important one, I think, is that the highest kicker taken on average was Steven Gostkowski in the 11th. All right? And he finished 2nd among all kickers with 160 points. And Dan Bailey finished 10th, only 25, points behind him. So the The second best and the 10th best were only separated by 25. That's less than 2 points per game. There's not much difference in kickers. Kickers, they can win you a game, but not a fantasy football league. So keep an eye on that. I got some more facts here. I'll post this up on the website later tonight in the Ralphie's Rant section. But we're going to take a quick break for now. When we get back, you're going to find out what's urinating us off. We're going to talk about soccer. What?
I'm leaving.
Bear with us. All that and so much more. 3 Up, 3 Down and everything. You're listening to High on Sports on the MSC Radio Network.
To a black man's arm.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network. Heard of the 7 deadly sins?
You are evil. Pure evil.
They're nothing compared to Uncensored Net Noise's 7th annual birthday bash.
But I gotta do this.
Friday, September 20th at the Rock City Tap House in Parma. Live on stage, it's Morality Check, Necros Obscura, The Burning Harlots, Darling Waste, and more for this amazing all-ages show.
Because of your words, I'm not ready to destroy.
All the details for the 7th annual Uncensored Net Noise Birthday Bash at MSCRadioNetwork.com.
I know, oh my God, I know what we're gonna do. Oh, it's so delicious, I can almost taste it.
If you're looking for the best sub shop in town, look no further. Hanini Subs, located at 7310 Lorraine Avenue, is the place for you. Stop in for a cold cut sub, cheeseburger and fries, wingdings and fries, and so much more.
I can almost taste it.
Hanini Subs at 7310 Lorraine Avenue is open 24 hours a day. Check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/burrito crazy. And if you mention MSC Radio Network, you'll get $1 off your meal. It's all good at Hanini Subs.
So damn good.
The following message is for those with a credit score of 800 and below. Who wouldn't want better credit? Did you ever wonder how different life would be from just having a higher credit score? Are you tired of being turned down for any kind of loan or only offered high interest rates because your credit score is holding you prisoner? Life doesn't have to be that way anymore with access to Turnscor. By increasing your credit score only 50 to 100 points, it can potentially save you tens of thousands of dollars in interest over just a 5 to 10 year period. It can be the difference in getting approved for a personal loan, business loan, high limits on credit cards, a brand new car lease, or even a home mortgage. We see so many ads from companies that give us our credit score, but once we get our credit score, what are they going to do to actually repair your credit? Unfortunately, nothing. Until now, Turnscor is the first automated credit repair platform that is simple, safe, and secure. You'll be empowered right from the comfort of your own computer, so you can challenge and repair your credit report to ensure it's fair and accurate. Turnscor is specifically developed with you in mind. There's no more need for an attorney, credit repair companies, or credit counseling. More importantly, no more need for paying higher fees. Turnscor will help you get back on track and get the buying power you need. So whether you have bad credit, average credit, or even good credit, Turnscor is helping turn lives around one credit score at a time. Go to turnscore.com and enter the promo code MSC20 and get $20 off your purchase. That's TURNSCOR.com. TURNSCOR.com. Turnscore.com. Looking for reliable and affordable Shoutcast audio or video hosting? JWN Media offers complete Shoutcast hosting solutions for business or personal use. All plans come with full listener stats, custom web scripts for implementing your service into your existing website, full server control, super fast network, and huge bandwidth limits, a 99.5% uptime guarantee, and friendly, knowledgeable support personnel dedicated to making your hosting experience fun and easy. With plans starting at only $3 a month, you have no excuse not to get a server of your own. Plus, with the option to add auto DJ and on-demand services, you can be confident your station will be all it can be. Custom plans are also available at their website. Simply visit jwnmedia.com and click the Shoutcast hosting link to get started right now. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network. Hey, local bands and unsigned artists. What if I told you there was a place in Cleveland where you can get your merch made and have it sold in one location? What if I said you could bring your CDs and tickets to upcoming shows to this location? And what if I said you could do live acoustic sets at this location? I bet you're thinking there's no such place in Cleveland. Guess what? You'd be wrong. Contact Rick Navario at Rock City, Cleveland, and tell him you need merch made and you want to sell it in his store. Now, how cool is that? You can tell your fans to come down and get your stuff, and I think he'd ship your products to your fans. And he's local. Contact Rick Navario at Rock City, Cleveland today. 216-622-0377. That's 216-622-0377. If you have a product or service, let people know about it. Get your message out there and advertise on MSC Radio Network. It's easier than you think, and the whole planet is listening. Find out how you can advertise. Email Chris at morningshowcentral.com. Pete 99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Jumping from one web host to another can be frustrating. Finding a good web host can be unnerving for even the most experienced of web designers. That's why Uncensored Net Noise has chosen P99 Technologies as its web hosting supplier. Established in 1999, P99 Technologies has evolved into a first-class web hosting provider. Its 99.9% uptime rivals many in the industry. That's why they offer their 30-day guarantee, no questions asked. For more information, go to P99.com. P99 Technologies will help you get started with your web presence with honest and expert customer service. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. If you're looking for the best in musical equipment, recording gear, sound reinforcement, and more, Guitar Center has you covered. Guitar Center, located at 26635 Brook Park Road in North Olmsted, has the tools of your trade with the largest selection of music and sound gear in the area. They cater to your musical needs and have the knowledge to help you out. Guitar Center in North Olmsted. MorningShowCentral.com uses them. You should too. Need to know more? Go to GuitarCenter.com. With hundreds of live weather products and layers and thousands of combinations, Weather Studio provides a professional graphics and store monitoring solution without complex user knowledge and without the industry standard price tag of $1,000 plus broadcast systems. Weather Studio displays a plethora of critical atmospheric and geophysical data on an interactive GIS-enabled computer map. Get your free 14-day trial of Weather Studio at their website, weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. That's weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. Lakewood Computer, located at 14035 Madison Avenue in Lakewood, has it all. If you're in need of computer repairs or want to cut the cost of ink cartridges and printing supplies, count on Lakewood Computer in Lakewood, Ohio to provide it all. For the past 5 years, Lakewood Computer has been providing you with a huge assortment of computer equipment and services at very competitive prices. Lakewood Computer purchases and sells pre-owned desktops, laptops, and related equipment, and they offer outstanding prices on aftermarket printing supplies, including toner cartridges and ink cartridges. With 29 years of professional experience, Lakewood Computer is highly confident in their ability to enhance your overall computing experience. Check them out online at joeslakewoodcomputer.com. That's joeslakewoodcomputer.com. Or give them a call toll-free, 855-580-0768. That's 855-580-0768. User-friendly and ready to serve. MorningShowCentral.com.
Hello, and welcome back to High on Sports. I'm Ralphie, and with me, as always,
Ashley.
And I am Von Eric.
and whether you are listening to tonight's show on your computer or one of the many glorious apps, thank you for making High on Sports a part of your evening. Remember, if you're not listening on one of the many glorious apps, simply take your smartphone, search for TuneIn Radio. It is free to download, install it, search MSC Radio Network, hit play, and you're listening to us live on the go from your smartphone, wherever you may be. And remember, you can call the show toll-free, 1-888-668-0742. Email your questions or comments to shows with an S at morningshowcentral.com. The Twitter is at high_on_sports or hashtag high on sports. Facebook.com/high on sports is the fan page. Go ahead and give it a like. The website is highonsports.net. It's got the archive of all our past shows, my blog, and a bunch of other fun stuff. Again, that is highonsports.net. All right, we got a jam-packed show for you. It is round 2. Let's go. By the way, this is a fun fact for everybody. Full disclosure, what was going on during the break. We're talking about I think you can call it a sports movie, is Teen Wolf.
Yes.
Obviously, he wins a big game at the end with the basketball and everything. It is released in Brazil as, I'm not going to try to pronounce it, but it translates to The Boy from the Future, because it came out in Brazil. It came out after Back to the Future, and they wanted to bank into that. So Teen Wolf in Brazil is called The Boy from the Future.
That's insane.
It's not even reserved for the movie poster starring the guy from Back to the Future. It's just called the movie that.
And in Italy, they changed his name to Marty so that people would confuse him with Marty McFly from Back to the Future. That's a great sports movie, though. It counts. It totally counts. Teen Wolf, one of the greatest sports movies of all time. Not as great as Major League, but, in
definitely.
terms of
League
a sports
was
movie.
good.
But, better than Major League 2.
Better than For the Love of the Game starring Kevin
I
Costner.
hate For the Love of the Game. Oh, my
watched it
God.
once.
That's the
really
was that the one where he
bothered.
throws the perfect game?
Yeah, eventually. I saw when I was...
Such
I
a
was
nice
Spoiler
movie.
alert.
Yeah, I don't even care. Dude, Kevin
so
Costner's in a
nice.
baseball movie. Oh, who knew?
I'm just saying.
Listen.
so nice.
Listen. Well, he's a tiger in the movie. He's a Detroit Tiger.
Yeah, I didn't like that part.
I saw it when I first saw it.
but
when
it
I
was
was
against the Yankees.
I was a young child when I first saw it, and I was in theaters, and I didn't remember anything. All I remembered is this is intensely boring. And then, not long ago, maybe a year or so, it was on TV, and I was like, I have not seen this movie since it was originally in theaters. Let me see if maybe my opinion was wrong. And I realized it's not that it's boring. It's just, like, how do I put this? He cries, like, all the time. Like, the whole movie. Like, it's
I don't remember
he's
him
just
crying.
the wimp. Go watch it again. He just cries. Like, it starts, and he doesn't stop crying until it's done. And, like, his chick, and they're in an airport, and they're just crying. It's terrible. Oh, Kevin Costner, I want to hit you in the mouth. It was Waterworld was better. Everyone go watch Waterworld
Man,
instead.
you're a hater.
For the Love of the Game is crap. It sucks. I'm sorry. That's a bad movie.
I agree
nice.
with you there. I
Oh, it's
usually
not
love
good.
anything
It's a
at
nice
all
movie.
when it comes to baseball, but that movie was just
Yeah,
not good.
Baseball movies are usually great, unless it's the bench warmers. But, like,
Oh God.
that was so sad. That movie made me cry. I was like, I'm not going to get my money back.
Never seen that one.
I was like, what? And then you're like, I'm not getting my money back. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
All right, well, let's. Aside from For the Love of the Game, there are other things urinating me off, and this is the section of the show where we share that. And we're going to start, as we always do, with Von Erich. Von Erich, what's urinating you off?
Well, college football is almost upon us, and we have an announcement starting next year. The MAC Conference, Mid-American Conference, will send a third team to a new bowl that has been created by ESPN, the Camellia Bowl. And
What? What is...
I don't know what
Camellia. I think they just made up a word.
Yeah,
Isn't
they
that,
had to.
who does that song? Karma Camellia.
And
That's
the other
culture.
Boy
club?
George.
Yeah.
other
this is-
team will be from the Sun Belt Conference. I have no idea what the hell that is, but yeah, they got a bowl game.
Let's find out who's in
The
the
third
song.
MAC Conference team to get a bowl game, which I deem a little unnecessary. How many bowl games does this make this? We've
It'll be 36. And ESPN's trying to add another one to make it 37. Yeah.
The Camellia?
Camellia. Yeah.
What is it, like a chameleon? Is this a chameleon bowl? The chameleon bowl? What does that mean?
I don't know.
And of course they don't tell you that part. The part
No.
America wants to know.
I
MAC,
just-
a third
I mean-
third place in the MAC versus
The main thing that they want to let you
Wait,
know
it's
that
not the
it
winner of the MAC?
No.
takes place in the Crampton Bowl, a 25,000 seat stadium that has undergone significant renovations. So
Wait.
that's their selling
I
point.
thought they were making the bowl game to be the winner of the MAC in the Sun Belt. That's not even the winners?
Nope.
Then what the hell?
Yeah,
Look,
wow.
man, I'm all for like bowl games and stuff because the college kids, they get to go have one game that actually might mean something because 95% of them aren't going to go pro. But for the love of God, there's almost 40.
I'll tell you what, I got in front of me the list of
This is insane.
I got in front of me right now a list of the Sun Belt teams. Now, I'm not going too in depth in this, so I'll be honest. Some of these teams don't even field a football team. I'm certain. Two of these don't. All right, well, we got Arkansas State University. Okay.
They're no Arkansas.
No, they're not. God, Georgia State. It starts out promising. You're like, Georgia, huh?
Who the hell?
State. The Georgia State Panthers. Oh, jeez. The University of Louisiana at Lafayette Ragin' Cajuns.
Is this Division 1?
Yeah, it's like for the grown-ups here. University of Louisiana at Monroe Warhawks. The University of South Alabama Jaguars. Texas State University. That one's the Texas State University San Marcos Bobcats. That one's not football. The Troy University Trojans. By the way, the second Trojan on this list. The other one, University of Arkansas Little Rock, doesn't field a football team, but still. The Western.
So half of them don't even field football teams?
Western Kentucky University Hilltoppers. That is their big marquee team. And they're leaving on July 1st of next year. So, oops. And they do have some future members coming along.
Okay.
Appalachian State University.
The team that beat Michigan
is being promoted.
That's
here.
all they're known as.
And Georgia Southern University Eagles in Southern Georgia. I
that
assume.
sounds like an online university.
And the University of Phoenix Mousepads is on their way. Wow, yeah, the Sun Belt. That is.
What was that?
No, I made that one up.
Oh, okay.
This is wow. That's not a I've heard of one of these teams. Well, and I've heard of all of them, but I only really know one of these teams, and they're leaving. so I don't know. Arkansas State Red Wolves versus what? The Buffalo Bulls? Like, is that what we're looking at here? I'm scared.
Because the MAC is kind of big, so why would they even want a bowl game with the Sun Belt?
Let's look at some.
Well,
MAC teams here.
I guess if it's like the third place winner of the MAC.
We like the MAC up here in the north.
I do. I'm a MAC alumnus.
Yeah, you are a MAC alum.
A MAC alum.
MAC alum.
That's true.
I went to Bowling Green. I'll represent.
Exactly.
So good for them, but they had to get stuck with the Sun Belt. I'm pretty sure I could find a
What in
group of...
God's green earth is a camellia?
I don't
Am
know.
I just-
They didn't even make it a good name. Just Camellia Bowl. It's not even sponsored by anything. It's just Camellia.
I'm sure most people at home here, the college football fans out there, know who's in the MAC because they're like a real conference with real schools. But if you don't remember, Akron Zips, BGSU Falcons, of course.
Whoop,
The Buffalo Bulls, which I love their logo because it's a bull, and then under it just says Buffalo. So it just looks like they labeled that as like Buffalo, and you just look at it and it's like, nope, that's wrong.
The Buffaloes.
You wrote the wrong name under that. That's not a Buffalo. Kent State Golden Flashes, Miami of Ohio Redhawks, Ohio University Bobcats. Got a lot of friends in OU. What's up? Ball State Cardinals, Central Michigan Chippewas, Eastern Michigan Eagles, Northern Illinois Huskies, University of Toledo Rockets, and the Western Michigan University Broncos. Most of those are real. Some of them are still a little
Yeah. But most of them are real, like OU, Toledo, Bowling Green,
Sure.
Akron.
Yeah.
Kent.
Why are the third? So of the teams I just listed, the third best one
Gets to play the
is
best
gonna
Sun Belt.
was it the best in the Sun Belt, or
It would have
someone
to
in
be because the Sun Belt's shooting blanks.
It can't get anyone pregnant. What? No, is it the Sun Belt champion? Do we know that, or who? From
I don't
the Sun
remember
Belt?
what it said. I was reading it
I don't
earlier
think it's the
too.
Sun Belt champion. The Sun Belt champion plays somewhere in some bowl. Somebody.
Really?
Probably.
So now the Sun Belt's getting two teams?
We should get the champion of the Sun Belt plays the last place in the Big Ten. Just get the last place Big Ten team, allow them to be bowl eligible, and put them in there. This is.
I don't get it with all the bowl games. How many do you honestly need?
The thing is, if you're gonna, I'm not even gonna necessarily get on you for adding one if it's still interesting. I would honestly, I would be okay with another Big Ten Pac-12 or Big Ten SEC. I know there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Or just something good. SEC Pac-12. Like one of the good conferences playing each other. I don't care if I'm watching like the 4th Pac-12 team against the 5th SEC team.
It's better than
That's gonna be
watching
better
the
than-
first Sun Belt team.
That's going to be better than
I mean,
all of
that's
the
where-
Sun Belt combined versus
Yeah.
the 3rd place MAC team.
Because, I mean, that's
terrible.
Sun Belt. It's borderline
Western
Division 2.
Kentucky
or
Hilltoppers.
Division 1 AA or however the hell they do that.
I don't even know.
It's borderline garbage. I mean, I guess good for the kids because they get to go to a bowl game now. Mm-hmm. But what the hell?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't know.
seriously, how many do we need? And they're talking about adding another one to make 37.
Yeah.
That's 30 and 30, 60,
That's a
40.
pretty
That's
big
44
number.
freaking teams. No. I just did that wrong. I
Yep.
six,
Yeah, really wrong.
74.
Really wrong.
74.
Yep. Yep.
I did
Well,
that
this is-
way
and
wrong.
who knows how the league is going to change everything? I mean, the NCAA is
seven-
it's going to be totally
74.
different. This is the last year of the BCS. It's the lame duck season. I mean, this is the last year the BCS is going to be calling the shots here.
I
They'll
mean,
start
they're still
next
going to have
season.
all the bowl games. They're
They
just going to
will.
make the bowl games somehow
But
in the
we'll
playoffs
just-
or
yeah,
something.
we'll see how that works.
I'm not
It's-
really sure I like it.
It's
because I do
complicated.
like knowing that we're in, because I'm an Ohio State fan. I like knowing that in the Big Ten, if you win, you're going to the Rose Bowl. Now it's all throwing a fork into the mess, and I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yep.
I mean, I guess technically playoffs are better, but still, I do
It's
like
confusing,
bowl
and they're going to
games.
expand, so don't even get used to just 4.
Right.
Thank you, Von Erich. As always,
welcome.
you've riled us up just enough. Now, I'll tell you what my year. I'll make mine really brief because what it was gonna be was that this young man is just finished 5 years of active duty. I say young man even though he's older than me. This older gentleman just finished 5 years active duty in the Marines right out of high school. Became a Marine. 5 years active duty. And then he wanted to enroll. He enrolled in Middle Tennessee. He's a freshman there now. And you know, so he wanted to play football there and everything. The NCAA was going to suspend him for a year of eligibility, and they did ultimately overturn it, but they were going to suspend him, saying he played in a rec league while a Marine, which was just a big whole stupid thing. But to the NCAA's credit, on our way here, while I was contemplating my thoughts on the issue, I was informed that they had just this evening changed their mind.
Yeah,
on
they
the
pulled their
stance.
heads out of their asses.
They pulled their heads out of their asses and
said, "Oh, you can play."
exactly.
I'm sorry, you played in a backyard football league that just technically had officials, so you're ineligible for a year. Really?
Yeah, it's stupid. But all right, let's get on to what people actually want to talk about. It is time to discuss the Barclays English Premier League.
That's a pretty good British accent.
That was pretty nice.
That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
I could live there probably, as long as they got like hot dogs and nachos and stuff, like America stuff. Sure.
Right?
But and I don't want their piss warm ale. Sorry, British
God,
people.
why do they drink it warm?
In the middle of the day, and they're all sad. Everyone's sad.
Yeah, well, you get sad
Anyway.
drinking warm beer. What is wrong with you people?
Anyway, yeah.
There's nothing grosser than warm beer.
Somebody invest in a fridge in that. In that
Dear God,
continent.
it's so bad.
Anyways, I want to talk about the English Premier League is now coming to free plug, whatever, NBC. Like they need it, but NBC Sports Network is now showing the English Premier League.
They've gone down so many pegs.
And what they're encouraging everybody now is they I don't know if you've seen those stickers and pictures everywhere. It's like keep calm and blah blah blah. Keep calm and kill zombies. Keep calm and
Yeah, it's
continue to be calm.
gone
Whatever. I
completely
don't know
too
what
far.
they're doing, but their big
keep
thing
calm.
is keep calm and pick a team is what they're saying to America. And they say the rules for picking teams, you can't just pick like if you're gonna pick your own team, you can't pick a team a friend picked. That's the rule. And you can't pick Manchester United because you can't be a front runner. So if you can't pick a team, as I can't because I hate all of them evenly, I went to their website and I found they had a program there that said an option that said I need a team, and I was like, well, I don't have one. Not that I'll keep it, but what do you got here? So I clicked it. It wanted to see my Facebook. It did. You had to like the page. I immediately unliked it. It's fine. I'm okay. But it looks at my Facebook, what I've said, statuses, things like that, how many friends I have, and it has determined that I am a fan of Chelsea. The Chelsea, I don't know, what are they, like Lions or something?
I'm assuming the Blues because it says
No,
you back the
there's
Blues.
Yeah, well, maybe they call it, but there's a lion, like with a scepter or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's where
You did the same thing this evening. You
I
are
also
also a
got
Chelsea fan.
Chelsea.
We're a couple of Chelsea fans here.
apparently.
Von Erich is more on the side of, We went West Ham.
West Ham United.
West Ham United.
He likes the ham.
Well, my issue with this.
Oink oink.
My issue with this is why
It gives you who it gives you.
exactly why it was picking our teams for us the way it was doing it. It said for you and I because we liked several Will Ferrell films.
And Will Ferrell's
And
a
Will
Chelsea
Ferrell's
fan.
a fan. 4 different times it listed off Will Ferrell. It was because you like Will Ferrell, because you like Elf, which stars Will Ferrell, because you like the other guys, which stars Will Ferrell, and because you like Step Brothers, which stars Will Ferrell. So Browns, Indians, Cavs, I'm a fan of because for over 22 years I've been raised that way, and I live and
Live in
die by
Cleveland.
what they do.
Yeah.
But I like Will Ferrell, so this seems like a stronger bond to me.
Right?
But, yeah.
And then I got
yeah.
Snatch because Guy Ritchie directed
'Cause you
Snatch,
mentioned the- yeah.
and he's a Chelsea fan.
It's
I mean,
ridiculous.
honestly, they would have been better off saying you're friends with a girl named Chelsea, so you must like the name Chelsea, so now you're a Chelsea fan. But no, it just gave me stupid crap. And I said something about rowing. In my whole time I've been on Facebook, I recall never saying anything about rowing, but apparently that makes me a Chelsea fan.
Yeah, nice try, Premier League. Not
You would have
gonna
been
work.
better off Facebook saying, we know you don't like soccer, we're going to leave you alone.
All right, time to end the show the way we always do. It's 3 up, 3 down. Down number 3, Miguel Tejada, Royal shortstop, suspended 105 games for reportedly failing his second drug test. Down number 2, Dustin Keller, the Dolphins tight end. In one hit, he tore his ACL, MCL, PCL, and dislocated his kneecap. Done for the year. Ouch. Down number 1, former Indians manager Charlie Manuel. Fired from the Phillies on Friday, over halfway through his 9th season at the helm in Philadelphia. Up number 3, Joey Logano, winner of the Pure Michigan 400, giving Ford the season sweep at the Mitten State. And, keeping with Michigan, I guess. Up number 2, Max Scherzer, winning pitcher against the Royals for the series win, gave him the league-leading 18th win. Second place is a bunch of guys with 14. So running away with it. Up number 1, Usain Bolt won 2 more golds this week in the 200-meter and relay, making him the most decorated sprinter in the history of the World Championships with 8 gold and 2 silver. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us this week. But like I said, remember, next week is our big football preview spectacular, our last show before the regular season starts. So you're going to want to check that show out for our Super Bowl picks as well as all our other little NFL predictions that we may happen to have. So for Chris, for Von Erich, for Ashley, I am Ralphie saying good night, everybody. We will see you next week, same time, same place. Thanks for listening to High on Sports on MorningShowCentral.com.